Okay, so Wendy actually had a really good question. She's trying to target high-end homeowners. Now, um, Facebook took a lot of different targeting uh, demographics away, especially when it comes to owning homes and renting and different income demographic brackets. But there are a couple of different ways. So if Wendy is trying to reach homeowners in the higher end areas, there are different techniques that she could actually use to achieve that. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one of the first things that I would do is I would personally, tactic number one, I would utilize something that we call in the Facebook ad world carpet bombing. Now, what carpet bombing means is that you're hitting and dropping pins in certain parts of demographic areas, right? So let's go to one of the ritziest zip codes that we all know and love, 90210, right? Which is Beverly Hills, obviously. And so what we can do here is we could actually target people who live in this 90210 area, okay? You can choose everyone in this location. So if it's like a high-end shopping mall area or high-end neighborhood, maybe it's a ritzy area where a lot of people hang out, maybe it's a country club, you could actually target everyone who is in this area, people recently in this location, people who live in this location. So I would basically do people who live in this location, right? And there's so many different ways that you could go about it. Now, one of the other things that you can actually do, let me pull this out right here, is if we go to an address, like Rodeo Drive, right, Beverly Hills. Let's just go Rodeo Drive stores, because what you could also do is, like, let's say we go to Tiffany and Company, right? That's 295 North Rodeo Drive. Now, if we actually don't do it by zip code, but do it by actual address, check this out. We could actually move in and out. So if we want to get within 1 mile of it, or we want to get within 50 miles of it, okay? So this would be one of the first things that I would do, okay? So you guys feel free to ask questions. My apologies, again, we're doing construction in my studio today. So you're gonna hear some power tools going off and stuff. But so this is one of the ways that I would do it, Wendy. I would carpet bomb country clubs, high-end neighborhoods, right, where the rich people live. I would just, target people, and this is what you have to know your target audience. You have to know where they live, and that comes with doing research, okay? Now, another thing that you can do, so let's say we're just, we're sticking with Los Angeles, the DMA. So the next thing that we could actually do is when you go to detailed targeting, there's a thing right here that says browse. If you click that, you could actually target people when it comes to income, right? Household income, top 10%, 10% to 25%. There are different things that you can actually do to actually target income. So that's just another way that you could actually do it. You can target people by their jobs, right? You'd target lawyers and doctors and everything like that. You can do that as well. Now, those are very, very highly targeted type ways to do it. So if I were you, Wendy, I would test 3 different things. I would test one, the first method that I showed you, by carpet bombing. Method number 2 that I would test, it is by fields of study and their actual job titles. Now, this third way is one of my absolute favorite ways to do this, okay? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to definitely set your age, right? Because most people in the younger, they haven't really cut their teeth yet in the world. And so I would probably go 25 to 65 plus, or even, if you want to go a little bit higher, think about, I would run some numbers in the area that you want to run these ads in and kind of see what is the age median of, the higher end people, like what is the median income in that area. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to detailed targeting, right? You ask the question in the group, what kind of interest would people be, you know, liking if they had a high-end home? You're going way too broad, like golf and wine, and that's just not going to cut it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do something that it's a layering technique, okay? So one of the things that I do is I'm like, okay, if I'm a rich person, I'm probably into a lot of rich brands, rich stores, restaurants, restaurant chains, high-end vehicles, definitely, you know, iPhone, the latest iPhones, everything that, you know, they're probably wealth management. They probably utilize, you know, some type of investment. So you can even, you know, target, you know, investment companies. So many different things that you can do right here, but here's a little technique that I like to do. So let's just say, you know, like, you know, Tiffany and Company, right? Tiffany and Company. Okay, so let's say we start there, right? And then what we're gonna do now, this is one of my favorite methods, and must also match, like, let's say, you know, like BMW, you know. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna narrow it even further. And what we're gonna do is, let's see, Tiffany and Company, BMW, what other, you know, high-end things, you know, brands would, you know, Nordstrom's, right? Rich people love Nordstrom's, not Nordstrom Rack. Now, what I would continue to do is you're gonna see that, like, Facebook is going to suggest some other stuff. And so what you could do is you could literally just go and, you know, start segmenting all of this stuff. Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus, of course. Now, you're going to see that Facebook, as you're making suggestions, Facebook is going to want to try to keep all the cars together, you know, all the stores together. What I want to do is, let's see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the Audi here, but I'm going to put the Audi here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off Saks Fifth Avenue here, and I'm going to put it here. And so basically now, you know, like we'll go with Coach. Let's see, Coach bags. Where's the bag? It's kind of hard to specify Coach. So let's go with, we already have, like, let's see. Oh, Gucci, of course. So let's go with Gucci. Now we're going right here with this targeting. We're going super, super high end. You don't have to go super, super high end, but what you do need to know is you need to know at least 5. I would stack 5 here. I would stack 5 here, and I would stack 5 here, so that you give Facebook a really good pool. I would stay away from doing, you know, things like Home Depot, especially if you're like trying to look at higher end. You know, you could do convenience services, right? Poor people, broke people don't use things like Uber, right? They don't use things like, let's see, HelloFresh, right? Yeah, HelloFresh. They don't use convenience services. So think of things that wealthy people invest in, right? Remember how we were talking about, like, in, you know, Merrill Lynch, right? Some investment opportunities. So this is the way that I like to do it, because what this is going to do is it's going to tell Facebook, hey, we want someone who has at least 3 of these interests in their targeting, so that basically we can weed out all possible, you know, people who might not have money. So they have to meet the criteria in at least one of these 3 spaces. Okay, so that's how I do it. Again, number 1, carpet bombing. Number 2, I would target by income of housing or jobs, fields of study. And then 3, I would use this layering technique. Stay away from going too broad. We want to layer, because we're going to try to get Facebook to use its machine to actually leverage all of these different interests into getting who you exactly want to target with this. So I hope this has been very helpful. Like I said, layering is something that I love doing, especially when you have to go after a specific type of person. And this is what I want you guys to start thinking. like this versus trying to rely so much on Facebook telling you exactly, oh, I want Facebook to target doctors. Okay, well, what are the tools that doctors use? What are the things that they're following? What kind of books are they reading, right? And so you could even target some wealth building books. Just think, what do uppity neighborhood people do that normal people don't? So anyway, hope that you guys found this very helpful. Let me know, drop any questions below, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday.